guys, this is Speedy Biker Nada One here. Today I'm going to be doing a topic about automatic transmission versus manual transmission. I mean towards all vehicles. Not just bikes and not just cars, but both. Just in general. Recently I've actually watched a couple of videos from two different motovloggers. One of them was from Chaotic Ties, who is from the US, and then I watched another one from Rider of NZ, who is from New Zealand. And they both have different opinions on automatic versus manual, and it was pretty interesting seeing the different opinions. Now Chaotic Ties, he recently got into a car crash, and he used to drive a manual car for, I think, 4 years or something. That's what he was saying in this vlog, something like 4 years. And he was talking about how, and now he has an automatic, and he's talking about how an automatic and he's saying that an automatic, he finds that he is less focused on the road. It's easier to just drift off, like not pay as much attention on the road. Whereas with a manual, because you're shifting, you have to watch your revs and all that stuff. It forces you to pay attention to the road, and it's a much more like engaging driving experience versus the automatic. Now, Rider of NZ, he had another very interesting opinion, because, well, obviously his motorcycle is a manual. I mean, most motorcycles are, but the thing is he actually finds that a manual car, like driving a manual car, it's a total different story, because he finds that in a manual car, doing a gear change is it takes, in his opinion, like 10 times more time than shifting gears on a motorcycle. So he chooses to drive an automatic because he personally finds it annoying, especially like in traffic. And so I mean, I think that's a pretty interesting point of view. Now I'm going to be giving my point of view towards manual transmission just in general. Now, personally, I have never driven a manual car. Manual cars in North America are actually a very rare thing. There's only really a few sports cars and a few small cars that give you the option of a manual transmission. And my first vehicle, actually, that is a manual transmission, is a bike. When I went to bikes, I literally had to completely learn about what a clutch is, what rev matching is. All that stuff. I had to learn what it is, what a shifter is. I had no idea, and actually it was a little bit tough at first when I was learning how to use the manual transmission on a bike, obviously, because I would stall at the beginning, blah blah blah. But after a month or so, I got kind of the hang of it, and I find that after a while it almost becomes kind of like an automatic, in the sense that you just do it automatically. I'd say overall a manual transmission teaches you a lot more about your vehicle, because you learn where the biting point is on your vehicle, like at what revs your bike starts to take off. Mine is at about 7,000, 8,000 RPM on this little 125. If you're below, if you're at 5.5 RPM, that's, I mean, you pretty much on this bike, you pretty much have to be at minimum 5.5 RPM. Otherwise, you're not going to go anywhere. And your bike will even start to chug. Like even at 4,000K, you can almost feel like your bike is chugging. It's crazy. This bike is really designed to be revved pretty hard. But that's a good thing about a manual transmission. And I'd say it's the same thing in a car. I mean, once you learn where your vehicle starts to take off, you can really use that to your advantage in like an emergency situation. Another good thing is with every gear, you kind of have an idea. With every gear you use, you kind of have an idea of what speed you're going. Whereas in a car, you actually have to check, and you can easily, with an automatic car, you can easily go quicker than you desire to because you're not checking your speed. I mean, you're just operating a gas pedal. Whereas if you're a manual vehicle, you'll hear it louder, and you'll hear your vehicle getting louder. You'll know you're going faster. You'll know. There's not really an excuse for speeding in a manual, I'd say. Oh, boom, 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 boom. I wish they'd fix this sometime soon. Man, that's annoying. Like, literally, you're trying to do a gear change, and it's like, you can't even really control it. Jeez, is this just that bad? And it's this atrocious winter we've had. But getting back to my vlog, distractions. God, I could literally just do a vlog on how to get distracted when you're riding, in terms of, you know, your vlog. Like I said, with driving a manual vehicle, it forces you to pay attention because you have to shift. You can't text. You can't really be on the phone unless it's hands-free. And another good thing too about a manual, like a manual transmission vehicle, is you don't get a lag. Like, let's say you slow down. There's no lag, like, once you get back up to speeds, because you can change down a gear and literally there's like no cut of power. Whereas if it's automatic, you brake once you get on the gas, because your revs are dropped substantially low, there's this annoying, you know, I mean, there's this annoying wait. Now if a sports car or like a more expensive car, there's not as much of that. But if you're just driving like a, I don't know, Honda Civic or something, you could probably notice a difference. Another good thing about a manual transmission vehicle is that you can use engine braking. So what I mean by that is you could just tap on the brakes a bit, tell other people you're slowing down, ease off the throttle, let maybe your revs drop a bit. And then change down a gear, blip the throttle a little, you know, match your revs with the gearbox, match the revs of the engine of the gearbox, etc. And it helps save your brakes. You don't have near as much wear and tear on your brakes. And of course you can use, you know, a combination of braking and engine braking, which is great. Also, because you can engine brake and gradually slow down and go through the gears like that, it teaches you to actually properly brake and anticipate traffic. With an automatic car, I find that people, they tend to just accelerate and hit the brakes like it's some sort of on-off switch. Whereas if a manual, it teaches you how to slowly, gradually slow down and gradually like accelerate, so that way you're moving with traffic as best as possible and there's no holdups. There's less of a holdup anyways. However, that's not to say that a manual vehicle is necessarily for everybody. Some people, they might not be able to operate a clutch for maybe physical reasons like disabilities and such. And in traffic, I mean, I ride mischief. I mean, because I ride a motorcycle every day, and in Canada we don't allow filtering, unfortunately. So every time a car slows down, stops, goes, I have to shift down, shift up, shift up, shift down. And you know, if you get up to, like, let's say a decent speed in 5th gear, I don't know, 70, 60, 70, and then you have to shift down all those gears and then put your foot down, and as soon as you put your foot down, you gotta go shift up, shift, you know, and all that. It can get annoying, I'm not gonna lie. So I could see the reason for that, for having an automatic vehicle. And of course there's the issue when you're learning, you know, you could stall and stuff. So it's obviously best to practice in a parking lot or something. But overall, I think that a manual, you know, if you really want to have the ultimate driving experience and learn how to drive well, a manual car, a manual bike, etc. is really the way to learn how to drive well. And I mean, I don't own a car right now, but when I'm gonna own a car, I'll probably end up going for a manual, since I understand at least the concept of it. It might be a little bit more difficult. You know, I mean, like I said, I have never actually driven a manual car, but like vlogger of NZ has said, it's probably, you know, it probably takes longer to shift in a car and shift down, shift up and shift down in a manual car than on a bike. But overall, I mean, I want to get into good habits when I drive a car as well. And I definitely think a motorcycle has made me more alert, just seeing the dumbasses around, you know, that do stupid stuff. And when it comes to a car, you know, I want to experience what actual driving is. So I would probably end up going for a manual car. You know, I'd practice in a parking lot for a bit, and yeah. But anyways, guys, yeah, that's just my opinion on manuals. I think overall, you know, some people think they're primitive, it's a thing of the past, but you know what? I think that it's pretty sad how manual vehicles, more specifically cars, really are disappearing. I think that it's really affecting driving. We're not as good drivers as we used to be because of it. And I think that young people, it's really sad that young people will never actually be able to experience what, you know, driving and being able to control your revs and all that stuff, hearing the nice sound of a nice rev match when downshifting. They won't be able to experience these nice kind of things. And it's sad, really. And I really hope that, you know, there is semi-autos right now, for example, like semi-auto vehicles. I really hope that, you know, that might hopefully get more young people interested in the manual, since it is a little bit easier to do without the clutch. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and you know, like, comment, subscribe if you want to. Thanks for watching.